Hey y'all, Eric Adcock is offering life. So glad that it's Thursday. Yes, Thursday. I record the podcasts on Wednesday. They drop on Thursday. So technically it is Wednesday, but you're listening to this, so it should be Thursday. So trying to stay consistent with everything. This won't be a long one at all. I think this is episode 116 episodes I've done, and I've enjoyed every one of them. Thank y'all for listening, sharing, and supporting the podcast, or as the hip guys say, the pod. I mean, that's not me. I'm not pod. Doing on Wednesday nights we have sessions and classes at church, and this 8 weeks, Brother Jason and Brother Heath are teaching a class out of a book called God Has a Waiting Room by Joy Haney, and I'll put a link to that in the episode notes or whatever. And we're just learning about waiting. And it's a great class, don't get me wrong. It is a wonderful class, and Brother Jason and Brother Heath are phenomenal teachers. And the book is all about when God waits, when you're there in the waiting room and nothing seems to be getting answered, and you're just there. And they have both just so eloquently put it and described it as a hospital waiting room. And I've been there in a hospital waiting room. But the other night was in class. I think it was the last Thursday night, I believe it was. And as they were teaching and things like this, God dropped this thought into my head is that, well, thank God there's at least a room to wait in. Because I've been places where there was no room. There was no room to wait in. And you either had, I've seen emergency rooms so packed that people had to wait outside. I've seen restaurants so packed that you had to wait outside. I've seen situations where people had to stop under bridges when the rain was so bad, where there was no room, and things like that. So thank God there is a room. We may not like God's waiting room, but be thankful for at least a room. I've been in waiting rooms when there's nowhere else to sit. There's people lined up on the floor. So thank God for those chairs that are no good. You know, at least you're there in the waiting room. You know, it's frustrating and it's can be so tiring, but thank God you at least have a roof over your head, as my daddy would say. Hey, son, thank God you got a roof over your head. You know, and I complain about things in life where, you know, I felt like, you know, my friends had more than me and whatever, and I'd be like, well, you know, well, they had this and they have that. And he'd be like, well, thank God you got a roof over your head. So thank God for the waiting room. Thank God there's at least a place to get into. You know, there was no room in the inn for Joseph and Mary, but thank God there was a place they could go. So I'm thankful for the class. I'm thankful for the teaching. It's really been inspiring. But God dropped that in my spirit. Well, at least thank God that there is a room. There's somewhere that you can wait while you're waiting on me, and you're not having to wait outside. You're not having to just say, well, you can't stay in here. You have to go outside. There's no place for you here. So thank God that he at least supplies us a waiting room. And most of the time, the waiting room's heated and cooled, you know. So the waiting room, maybe it's not all that bad. Maybe maybe it's just us being human and not being thankful for at least he is supplying us a room to wait in. That's all I had tonight. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And thanks for listening to the podcast. Y'all have a good one. Bye.